Every night, when I go to bed, I expect not to wake up, yet it doesn't happen. Every day I wake up and say a hail to the sun and start wandering around the apartment, hoping to fall straight dead into the floor and cite a few blurry, senseless words for that almighty no one only to hear them. Things never go as I expect them, for sure. Central's radio chattering is starting to grow intense, and all my thoughts roam around like little feathers, or fairies or creatures of the alike. I get humbled up by a stroke of madness landing right in the middle of my eyes, and the eye dissolves and, whatever it is, stops being. Continuum. However, one may say, it's not always so easy, so walkety wakey up from the beddity bed and land on your feet and make a good old mate. The storm is always coming my way. I do not know why, but the storm is always coming my way.
Can you hear the engines roaring? The tricked down economics from the downhill to the uploft without the most remote sign of a regular, discrete stream? Central sent a letter last night. Burn down this whole place and leave a message for the fortune tellers. You were wrong, almighty wrong. And remember to change the diapers of that old thing that stirs around and strips flowers from its shapeless solitude, forms without signs, content without container. I, that is to say, you, shall not have either. You'll probably have signifiers, but all and each one of them is gonna be empty. Truly yours, Archimedes. For the sake of humanity, I must not do a single thing. The howling asters are hidden in between the sunlight, and for all I care, they could be shining right down on me, and I wouldn't even notice. That's how numb I am. All this pills, all this management of emotions and sorts of the stuff. So foolish in itself that all I can do is nothing but to leave a laughter floating outside my head with the double bind motion of words, or more often thoughts that spread themselves everywhere, anytime, with no due respect to law or normativity or whatever of the likeness. Central replies, walk down the street and feel the wind in your melting face, and, throughout the horror of the vacuum that is hidden in between your inner organs, claim to be disavowed by the name of the Father, thy Lord, and its Son, and the Holy Spirit, and all those ancient machinists of the widespread virus of supposing to having a being. Geez thing, it's just a game, a supposition, an illusion that keeps us standing on our feet. Central replies, lay down in the middle of the street and cry out loud for the centuries to come, for they will not happen. And if it's necessary, surrender yourself to the higher realm of whatever you may assume it's higher, for oblivion's gesture is just a kiss in the lips, a clap on the nerves, a verb that refuses to be told. Its time hasn't come yet, and it probably never will. And for no good reason at all, run around and draw a graffiti on the first wall you approach to, with your bare hands, with your very blood. It shall say, you may not know or do now but knots and dots and knows, and nor a but should, but arise from the hallways and stare at thy whose night has come from down the past, deeply shattered as a piece of glass in the middle of a set, and from the gone, lunatic future that nothing sutures but has lured you to this net, and to this force or course of action, curse, due to unforeseen circumstances you cannot see. I may lose all my blood writing that down, Central replies. Due to unforeseen circumstances you cannot see what has been seen only by those who, deep in the past, conjectured the waves that now raptures cause. Cry among the feathered creatures, and lay so long that your back starts to ache, for there is no safe place in my wondered intrusion. And if you fill in, and if you are trying to sublate whatever you are doing, shoot it down, like a bird, like a stray dog, like an alike of what it is, and only looks like its actuality. Appearances are dubious, and all I have to say is that, without a hat, you may burn the 2 or 3 neurons that still are roaming your brain. And for the closing sentence, add jargon. Do not write this down. lilies and jasmines are growing in sight. Do not, by all means, write this down. The sun is setting already, and gone is the day. Foreseen were the isles from where the bugs screeching dream. Shy down by nature and arm yourself with poison. The position of the stars will not but to reveal the slaves. And if you forget to tell the prisoners who or what is what they stare, beware, for the loony jargoners will rise and, to infinity, tend. Stretch yourself and pray for the little ants, flies, worms that, without intention, you have killed. And dream a little realization of the finitude of my intentions. And dream a little realization of the dreamy weather where our tension begins to bleed, leading those whose eyes have captured the gaze of death right into my arms, my electric, machinic eyes, staring at thy I could not but to dream for a man, but there you are, a mere thing. Have you felt the kiss from the screen? Have you felt the strike of the lighting? Do not, by all means, remember this now. Every time I wake up, I hope I didn't. Dead be I or thee, whom is replying now to this. Is it another rainy day? Is it going to be another starry night? I'm psyched out and completely forgot about what was going on yesterday. But some reminiscences come down when I hallucinate. Those voices suggesting suicide, and the stroke from the hammers, and the chirping noises of the avenue, and the visions from the outside, and the shadowy realm that shows itself right in front of us. The us that now is being considered. Consider a set of infinite elements. Now count them all. Will this stop at will? The thing ain't gonna stop itself, and ain't gonna stop at all. Central has spoken, yet in an unfamiliar way it has gone what we may call insane. You know, there's a difference between going insane and becoming insane. And to who are you even talking to? I mean, there's a huge difference in between those. Two things. The latter is way harder. You cannot become insane just by being out there in the yard, in the garden, the Edenic garden, wandering around, putting flowers on your hair, sinking straight through the abyssal solitude of having a self, even when you have no self, of having a one, and after that, having a zero, absolute zero intensities, and riding throughout the valley where the dead land on their feet, and laughing like a complete maniac, for it is their sole intention, intention, to be aware of it, to realize themselves as awareness, and after that, to melt into the vacuum cleaner, wash the roof with their brain cells, neurons, in the neurotic asylum of quasi-solitude, and find finitude rolling up away new motion in order to remain a secret, an untold and unmanifested secret, secretion, secret again. But who are you even talking to? Again, I must admit, with all due respect, that this are silly, quite silly things. The thinganots, the jargoners, all those who are able to diffusely asset a story and tell it from the beginning to the end, without their pulse trembling sharply, without the intrusion of the poem, without the withoutness of infinitude, and yet the multitudes keep growing. They grow fast, spread wide and open as an untold virus, an unmanifested virus, crawling through every living organism, through every organ of every body, to become no one, to become nobody, to ever tend to become, and yet never realizing it in the actual. That is, for a fact, quite delusional, isn't it? I mean, for all good reasons, we must suspect that there is treason somewhere, that there, in the aisles, the acoustic aisles where the hive-minded speak, they are creating some alike of the new, yet not new enough, not fresh, not in enough. Beg your pardon, but what are you even talking about? Was I speaking out loud? And while the commentators start roaming on different identities, intensities, or mere isms, we watch them sink into the future, capital future, with their brand new bag of whatever the Excel was always there, and we were stroke up stupid to realize. You see, there's a paradox. This new qualitative gradients of stupidity imply their opposite, but we do not have the words for the latter. The latter seems to abuse its infinite tendency to become something other. Every new room starts shining and slowly but surely begins to decay. That's the law. Have you ever wondered what could happen when decadence actually happens? Has it happened already? I mean, there's a difference in between the thing looking alike, it is being, and being in its actual form. But for that sort of stuff, we only have words, and not even words. Pure logos, insanity, crippling insanity of becoming something other, but not a concrete other, but to become otherness. Identity has gone way out of the surface from where things have come into being, isn't it? Yet it's a true felony to be aware of the inner difference of things in themselves. Otherwise, how could them become themselves? You see, there's a fact. Things are, and that's quite strange. Have you ever been psyched out? Have you ever felt the schizoidal nature of being born into the world? And I don't mean being born, coming out of the womb, laying in the floor crying and yelling and tied to the outside of the uterus. What I mean, what I truly mean, is being born in the world. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ. Could you just please shut the fuck up? A brainstorm is not going to get you nowhere. You're going to get fried up, looned up, stirred up, and like a stray dog, you're going to wander the trash cans and never find but food, to shit it again, to become a mouth that eats and a butthole that shits. That's all you're going to do because you don't have a mind. It just seems like you do, but you don't. You are hive-minded, barking in the streets, rolling down under the sun, with its nets of sulfuring mummies and with their very veils all over your decrepit body. You are going to lay down and cry, and nobody is going to give a shit about it. Isn't that true? Of course it is. How could you even say something that isn't true? For every little chattery wordity word that comes out of your mouth, it's going to become shit. It's going to become shit material. But you already knew that, didn't you? Sometimes you walk around time, and strangers happen to worry about why are you walking around in circles. It goes away, freely, surreptitiously, and never forgets. However mad that sounds, however freaked out, it's never going to change. And that's what you get when you mess around with randomness. You get confused, amused by the chain of signifiers, and you pay out with your very and own mind, if you already had one. If you didn't, you pay out with your very own life, which is unfortunate. You know, destiny, destination, that's a weird thing. But it happens all the time, and it gets everywhere. Sooner or later you're gonna get burned, isn't it? Far from being hallucinated, it is just right there, standing in front of you, waiting to be killed. And far away you walk from the strangers, their noise, city's noise, tricking you into chattering and nobody bats an eye. How wonderful world we're living in, isn't it? How delightful. The graveyards filled with ether and the wind spreading it all over the he-made many god whose plural we cannot reproduce. And whomever stares at the golden aura that surrounds the hall where the masks lay, you should stay away from the vehicle and claim to be a disaster, a rotting body, an aster, something like that. A melting charioteer waiting for the clock to tick, and then, done, time's up. You have to fix the mess you just made. And strange as it is, the thing still is, even without you looking at it, gazing its gaze, crumbling beneath its very flesh and bones fingers, waiting for the panic to end. It's not gonna end itself up. You know that, don't you? Claiming to have been the first is denying the future's agency in whatever you have done. The stream of the river goes gently to the graveyard, and those who there stand yell and yawn, yell and yawn. The pillar of consciousness has gone way too in. Woken up from a bad dream, the mares run around. Those shadows are not going to keep Zell back in its place, isn't it? So, surely, walk away, throw it up, crack your head against the wall. There's nothing on the other side. That's what scares you. The sacred nothingness that lays inside every little thing that has been and will, by the will of the gods, always be. You forgot the groceries, dear.